And we're back for episode number 2 of the High Speed Garage. How we going, boys?
Good afternoon.
How you going?
What's been happening? What did you get up to?
I heard you guys had a pretty good weekend. I got up to a couple of family events. We got a new Chesser part of the family.
Oh yeah, nice.
Geordie and Crystal had a little baby girl. And talking about little babies, Jason and Tash Cook, they had a gender reveal. Jason's the crew chief over at The Real Culprit for Nathan Barry, and Nathan brought the race boat over to Jason's place and had a big party around the boat, and they put whole heap of pink dust blown out from the exhaust pipe. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I heard about the video on Facebook, but I didn't actually see it. But yeah, everyone said it was pretty cool.
Yeah, come out awesome out of the exhaust.
yeah, I love seeing race boats getting used for other stuff than
Yeah.
just racing, because when they don't have a cell in them, like when they've got a cell in them, like they're pretty useless.
Yeah,
as
you
anything
can't really
else.
do much else. Yeah.
Remember when they used to have open decks? Like Gen 3, we used to go thrash it down the river and go skiing and
Yeah.
tow the tube behind it. That was mad.
What else we went? We went to New Zealand, didn't we, Joe?
Yeah, we went over there Thursday morning.
Yeah, so we cruised. We got to New Zealand early in the morning. Went straight to the boys' favourite pub, Muddy Waters. Had quite a few beers there.
Not as many as last year, but we still give it a good nudge.
Yeah, I didn't go last year, so I can't really compare. I'm just the newbie. But yeah, that's a nice little pub, sort of in the middle of nowhere. They drink all kinds of weird beer.
It's probably the dearest place to buy a carton of beer because it fucking cost us $70 for a carton of long necks.
A crate of long necks.
A crate of
wasn't
long
a
necks.
carton.
That's a crate.
So is the carton still 24? Like crate's still 24 over there? Or it's
No, it's only.
Yes,
Well, it would be in small beers, but yeah, this crate was long neck, so it's only 12.
And it's a crate, not a box.
Yeah,
and
like
it's wooden
you
crate.
actually
Wooden crate.
Get a wooden crate. That's pretty cool.
They've got a photo somewhere,
So
actually.
when you finish, you've actually got something to throw at someone else.
Yeah, we could
Drunk
put that
enough.
photo up on the socials.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, send that up.
Yeah, so we got the party started at Muddy Waters, and then what we do, we cruised down to our accommodation, and
You're staying in Cambridge, yeah.
yeah, had went out, had some dinner and whatnot, and then got up early the next morning and cruised down to Rotorua to go to the Rotorua Luge.
Skyline or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Skyline something or other. Probably should have looked that up.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
we
it's a
could-
Skyline. There's a heap of activities you can do. The balls rolling down the hill and
Yeah, there's
zip lining and whatnot.
Yeah,
Mountain bike, downhill mountain bikes.
giant swings, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we were just there for the luge.
Yeah, the Skyline Luge, and yeah, there was 10 of us Aussies. Well, there was a few more Aussies, but 10 in our group that decided we're gonna take on this luge.
Was there more Aussies from like boat racing over there? Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
heaps,
Aussies?
heaps.
Yeah,
Heaps
that's
of
probably
others.
40 of us, I suppose.
Yeah, there was a shitload of Aussies. The VIP area is pretty much Aussies.
No, at the luge. Was
Oh,
there
at the
other
luge?
boat-
Nah. It was just
Yes.
yeah, just us. We had there's five tracks up there, so we thought, we'll buy 5 turns. We'll try all the tracks, and we just
didn't try all the tracks.
we just happened to do the best track first, so we pretty much did that one most of the time. We did a
we did
couple of
that.
the other ones, but
2 or 3 times and then...
yeah, we tried the other ones, but they just weren't as fast, and we like speed.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of carnage as well.
You like the better possibility of stacking.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hitting someone else.
Yeah, exactly. I had a bit of a crash, got some skin off me hip and me ass
Yeah, at the end.
and me hand. Yeah, the
The
track
single lane.
the track was finished. We just had to cruise down to the chairlift, and yeah, I've thought I'm faster than everyone else. Tried to pass everyone in the single lanes, and then ran into the wood and flipped her up.
But that's usually what happens. When you're racing, your head's in it and you're really concentrating. when you've won or you've finished the race, that's when you're cruising, and that's where shit goes wrong sometimes.
Well, I wasn't cruising. I was still
up at
Mach
10.
10. I didn't realise that the race had finished there, and then afterwards I passed Joel just after where says the track's finished, and they said, no, the track finishes up there. So I had to get relegated back a position. But anyway.
I had to get regulated back because you're in the first one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I punted our mate Andrew off the track because he was annoying me.
Shoes come off.
He was too slow for me to get past, so I just punted him and sent him up the bank.
Which
His
Andrew
shoes
was
went
that?
flying.
Walmsley.
Point him out.
Walmsley.
Mr. Junior, Mr. Joe Junior. That's the driver of Joe Junior.
You got Bruce.
race
Bruce
boat.
ended up with skin knuckles.
Yeah.
Bruce Lyle.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun there. Then after that, we cruised into Lake Karapiro and watched some hot laps. The hot laps were pretty cool for the GP hydroplanes, the Lucas Oils NZ Hydro Thunder.
It's a pretty cool joint, Karapiro, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's a great venue to watch boat racing from. Nice, concrete grandstand. Yeah,
Big slope and bank.
yeah, the boats are
You're
getting
looking
lifted
down on
in,
them, similar to
lifted
what
in on the
Windsor's got.
cranes right in front of you.
I was actually showing the missus some photos of the racetrack, and there's up the back, up behind the racetrack, there's all the hills and
Yeah,
ice-capped hills, and that's a sick place to go racing.
yeah, it is. It is a nice spot to watch from. Yeah, the hot laps were pretty cool. I took a little video of Ken Lupton's hot lap because I seen that boat in practice and it looked pretty fast, and I thought he was probably going to be number one, but it turns out there was two that were a little bit quicker.
I think they gapped him by a second.
Yeah, I think so they had David Alexander. He was number one. He was the fastest, and then I think the American they had over there driving the boat, Andrew Tate. He was second fastest.
There was nothing in that
Yeah,
bar.
there was bugger all between them two.
It's like 3/10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, what is a GP Hydro?
Oh, they're. Don't really know how to explain that, but basically, if you sort of know a little bit about boats, it's a hydroplane sort of boat. They've got like wings,
Training wheels.
sponsons out the front that they sort of just bounce off and sit on top of the water. It's not like your ski boat sort of thing where it sits in the water. They sit up and they got
Sort
big
of got
big
like
engines.
A ski boat where the engine sort of sits. That's sort of like a sort of ski boat. That's
Not
your
really. You'd
displacement
call them
area.
more
And
like
then you've got your tunnel boat sort of wings out the front.
Yeah,
Your sponsons out the front. As a basic description to someone that doesn't know what a hydro is.
yeah. They're called a hydroplane basically because they're an airplane on water. So they don't really touch the water. They sort of just skip across the top of it.
run on the propeller and the two front sponsons, basically.
Yeah, and there's lots of different versions of the hydroplane. There's all the little ones from your little 1.6 litre hydroplanes all the way through to your GP hydroplanes or your unlimited hydroplanes. And your GP hydroplanes, they're basically a in New Zealand they're a little bit different rules to what we have here. They have they're capped at 468 cubes, I believe, and they're mostly big block chevs, running I think 871 superchargers, methanol fuel, all that sort of stuff. Probably make a couple of thousand horsepower, and they zing these things up to 9,000 RPM, and they sound incredible.
I heard you got a video of it.
Oh, I do. I got the video of Ken's hot lap. I can play that if you want.
Yeah, give us a listen to how these things sound.
I'll just give you a little short go so you can see what it sounds like. So that's a hot lap.
They are absolutely awesome.
And basically the laps, so it's a bit like the speedway, I suppose, like an oval, I guess, with a bit longer of a straight, big wide corners, and they pretty much don't lift going around the corners and just into it, floating across the top of the water. Probably do, I don't know, somewhere in the vicinity of 160 miles an hour, pretty fast.
So
they're definitely not mucking around.
Yeah, they're not hanging around at all.
Top GP drivers over in America would probably be sort of your Scott Coker, the Lupton boys, Kenny and...
In New Zealand?
Over in New Zealand,
Yeah.
Kenny and Jack.
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah, so the Scott Coker in How's That? He ended up winning the round. He won the final in the round because there was a little bit of a jump start. So they do clock starts, which is a bit different to what we're sort of used to.
They adopted the rules from the HRL from America and Canada.
Yeah.
That's how and that's because the Luptons are over there with another lot of boats running around.
That's a
doing that
massive series
series.
over in Canada and America, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the interview we seen with Andrew Tate, he was super keen to come here and run in New Zealand because he reckons that series sort of got propped up and got made what it is now by the Luptons coming over there and doing their bit. So
That's something for them to be pretty proud of.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a big effort to take some boats from New Zealand over to Canada and compete with all those guys.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Scott Coker ended up winning the final, and Jack Lupton got second. Ken come third, but he was not third across the finish line. So because of the clock start, you've basically got to do your laps, warm it up, and you can't go across the start finish line before the clock runs to zero. And when the clock runs to zero, that's your start time. So if you go across the line before that, you've started early, and I think that time sort of gets added on to your race or something along those lines. So that relegated Ken back to third, and I believe David Alexander also was in front of the start, and I think he ended up fourth. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So I'll get post that video up on the socials so
Get
you
our
can have a
secretary
little
on that.
look at what the GP hydroplane looks like going around the course. There was a few other classes over there too, interesting ones that weren't that we don't have here in Australia. Some cool ones that I think would be nice over here. The S Series 3000 boats. They're tiny little 14, 15 foot boats, little flat bottom things, and they've got little 6-cylinder engines in them. Most of them were 2Js, but there was a little VR30 Nissan in one. It was pretty quick, and there was even a little one with a little SR20 and a little 4-cylinder one. And yeah, I like watching them go around. I think that's a class that'd do well here in Australia.
That would have sounded pretty cool, wide open.
Bit more budget friendly.
Revy. They originally were built New Zealand built boat, well, most of them, but they come off a Yankee design apparently that come over.
Yeah, they do look a bit like.
They're all flat bottoms, yeah.
They do look a little bit like the American flat bottoms.
Yeah, they did tell me when I was chatting to them what the brand was, but I can't remember now.
If anyone's keen on looking up anything from the New Zealand weekend, you can have a look on the Hydro Thunder Facebook website, Facebook page. There's a fair bit of videos and
yeah, you see heaps of photos.
Mm.
Better photos than what we're going to
cool.
put up.
Yeah.
There's some on there from the professional event photographers and all that sort of stuff. You'll see what a GP hydroplane really looks like.
Yeah, it's a really exciting event to.
Yeah, it's a real effort to run one too. They're not an easy boat to get on and off the water. They got to get lifted in with cranes and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, something everyone should check out. The other there was heaps of classes. There was probably a dozen classes. You had your pro stocks and your juniors and all your typical stuff that everyone has. And another one that got us interested because it was pretty cool because they run passengers. Well, most of them run passengers. I think there was a couple that were single seaters, but majority of them were passengers, which is their Formula V, which is pretty much just like your little V bottom monos, but they're only small. So they're only what were
they're all
guys?
1750 bullets.
1750s, yeah. Yeah, they're pretty interesting. They dance around the water pretty good, and we get a little bit bored sometimes at the race meet, so we get into a bit of betting, and we bet on races. There's a little bit of a structure to how it works. So there's depends on how many people get into it. Normally we have sort of six to eight people that want to get involved, and it's $5 each race. Everyone chucks in, and the winner takes the money.
But it doesn't matter if you don't get a boat; you still got to put your $5 in.
But the trick, yeah. So some races there might be 8 of us playing, but there might only be 3 boats. So 5 people are chucking in money, and they don't even have a horse in the race.
Oh, you can't double up. You can't two people can't jump on the same boat.
No.
Oh,
So the way we go in order of picking, we have a little stack of coins, usually something a bit bigger, like a 20-cent piece, and you stack them on the table, and you pick either heads or tails, lift the coin off, and if you get it right, that's you got first pick.
You start from oldest to youngest at the start of the weekend.
And
And
keep
just
turning
keeps
around.
going
Everyone
around
has a
in a
little
circle.
turn first, and yeah, if you get the coin right, you're first pick. If you get it wrong, the next person gets the option to get it right and get first pick. And then once we've got an order, then we pick the boats in the race. And yeah,
It's pretty simple.
it's entertaining just flipping the coins over to work out who's starting where. A
It's
lot
an
of people
argument.
have a lot of people have probably seen us do it at some race meetings, and it's pretty entertaining. Sometimes when we get a little bit rowdy with it, we get a crowd round us checking out what we're doing, and they don't understand it, and we've got to explain it to everybody. So if they all listen here, they'll understand it.
Yeah, so the more you listen to us, the more you understand about the shenanigans at the boat races.
Yeah.
We only do it when we're not racing a boat, but
Yeah, if we're racing, we don't bet.
we can't. It's too
really,
hard,
Can't really concentrate.
It's only when we're a little bit bored in the VIP area having a few beers.
basically.
Right, so what do you boys reckon? Because obviously I was over here. What do you boys reckon was the best race of the weekend?
The best race of the weekend would have to be the Massport Cup heat that they end up rerunning because it was a bit of a schmozzled start, but they let that race run for the full 3 laps, and it was pretty cool to see. How many was 6 or 7 hydroplanes going around together with
that was with the rat-a-tat boat.
yeah, with a
twin
log boat on
turbo.
the
Right,
inside.
heck displacement boat in the same
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, that was probably the coolest race.
Actually, I think that was 10.
10 hydroplanes. No,
No, 6 hydroplanes, and then the rat-a-tat boat, and then Dancing Bear was out there as well.
Yeah, okay.
Is that Carl Weller driving the Red Attack boat?
I think
No, he's driving the 6 litre.
yeah. So it's
They've got two
also
different
called
boats. Okay.
it's also called Rat Attack, but it's like a 6-litre version. It's got a little Dodge. I think it's a Dodge. Is it Dodge?
Yeah, it's Dodge. Yeah,
Yeah, Dodge
EFI.
Dodge NASCAR engine with EFI on it. So
Running methanol.
yeah, it was pretty quick. It won all its races. It blitzed the field, but the big Rat Attack boat, I can't remember. One is Rat Attack, one's Rat Attack 2. I can't remember which order they're in, but the it's the other Weller boy that drives the big one.
That's
and
Graham Weller's kids.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
That's some pretty good.
And it looked
Pretty good
it
leads,
looks pretty fast. I must say, I've seen him in practice. He never
twin
held
turbo boat.
it flat for a full straight.
Yeah,
and by the end of that straight, it looked pretty quick.
it's a 510, I think, or 540.
Yeah, I didn't ask him about the size of the engine, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure.
more
it's
along
fine.
the lines of the Constable sort of style engine.
Basically, yeah.
yeah, it's a nice looking setup in the boat. I was
All different turbos are right down in there.
Yeah, not
Intercoolers
everything's
on
nice
the bottom
and low.
floor at the back, and
yeah
Pretty cool bit of gear.
yeah
Yeah,
it
it's
was a
the
nice
old,
looking setup.
high tension.
Oh wow. Okay, so Peter Tate's boat.
Yep. It's
That's
been
good
going
boat.
over there. Had a cockpit installed, and yeah, they're going pretty fast. I didn't actually ask what sort of speeds, but just looking from the grandstand where we're sitting in the VIP area, and it looked pretty fast at the end of the straight, and he never held it flat for the whole straight. He was sort of on and off the throttle the whole time.
Yeah, he was only there for the Massport Cup, so he never really raced anyone.
Oh,
Just went out for a
that's
few
why I can't
practices
see
and
him in
whatnot.
Yeah.
Can't see him in the results.
Yeah, so that'd definitely be the best race. Although it was pretty cool to see Andrew Tate running around. There was
Who's Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate's the American that they had come out. So he drove one of the
golf boat.
the Kiwi boats. Yeah, he runs in the HRL series in America and Canada, where the Luptons also compete. And they decided to get him to come out here and do some laps around here. They had a few boat issues. Nothing wrong with the actual boat, but just prop shafts and some thrust issues and things like that.
Dropped a plug lead off one of the races.
Yeah, but this one race where he actually got it to have a go, I think it was the same race actually. It was the
It was
the
failed one.
failed Massport heat. He a couple of boats went before the flag dropped because they couldn't sort of see the flag. The lineup was a bit ordinary. And anyway, he hung with the start boat until the start boat actually dropped the flag. So he left the line in sort of 4th or 5th already. And he caught him back up within
I reckon he
a
caught
lap and a half.
4 boats in
The first
first
corner.
corner.
Yeah.
So
But he
was
just
up it.
drove in.
Yeah, then the next
Drove in
lap.
like not backing off.
Yeah,
But
then
just
the
turned it.
next lap he's
That's
in
confidence in the
front.
boat at least.
Yeah, the next lap when he was leading, then he just drove away from him, and
Yeah.
would
It
have
would've
been
been
nice
good
to see
if
that
Ken-
go again.
If Ken didn't snap that prop shaft to keep running
Yeah,
in that race. But yeah, other than that, yeah. Crocker blitzing it, he crossed the line. That was good. Good finish when Crocker won
it
against
was.
Jack.
Yeah,
Just pipped him at the post.
yeah, it was right
They
at the
raced
finish.
So
Probably
side by
3
side
laps.
race the whole week.
Pretty
the
much
whole
3
time.
laps,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and no one was really paying attention until sort of the end because we had Ken and Dave out in front that were battling, but
They'd already blown the start.
they'd already blown the start, so that wasn't really the race for the lead. And it was a very cool finish. It was very close. We didn't, from where we were standing, we were at a bit of an angle to the finish line, so we couldn't tell who won. We had to wait for it to come over the speaker. But yeah,
But
the other
all
the
in
other
all, it was a good run meeting apart from the water getting let out of the weir.
yeah, they had a bit
on
of
the
an issue,
Sunday-
which is why
Saturday night.
the Massport Cup didn't end up getting fully run. The overnight between the Saturday and the Sunday, the dam opened up to let a bit of water into the town, and it dropped the dam by about a metre, which made it quite shallow in some spots. And apparently there's a rock somewhere on the exit of the first turn, so they had to go and mark that because it's only sort of waist deep there. So they went and marked that with a buoy, and then they adjusted the course, and that took a little bit, and that sort of put them behind the 8 ball from the start of the day. And then there was a couple of little accidents, nothing too major, but just a couple of little rollovers. So by the time they get those things towed back and all those sort of things, they just get behind time, and they end up running out of time to run the final of the Massport, which is a bit of a shame, being the 100th year of the Massport Cup.
Yeah.
They did a bit of a big deal on it, had all photos with all previous winners and all that sort of stuff up in the park. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that didn't get run, but
The rumour was going around it'll go to Twizzle, which is on the South Island.
is that the next round of
It's the last round of the
the Hydro Thunder?
Hydro Thunder.
Yeah, okay.
It is disappointing when you've got a major event like that. A lot of people travel for it, especially like Andrew Tate's from America.
Yeah,
And you get all these people that turn up to an event, and it's not like the organisers are trying to run a slow event, but unfortunately during that event things happen, and it just makes everything just slow down, and it's really hard to get the run back up again. Everyone blames the organisers, but most of the time the organisers are trying to do the best they can, but just external things happen.
that's it.
Just
They were doing the best they could. They just ran out of time. There was just too many little things that went wrong that you can't really account for those things. No one accounts for people to have accidents and
no one
those
accounts
sort of
for the
things. And
dam to be let out and
rocks
being exposed.
just all
like
the little
that's-
things.
that
There was
sucks.
nothing really major that caused it, but there was lots of little things that
Yeah.
just sort of worked up towards it. But
With the rerun, when they rerun the Massport Heat, and then they had the accident in it,
yeah,
they run out of time with that, because by the time you got to pull the boats off the water to refuel them, carry on, and then put them all back on the water, daylight just runs out.
yeah, there was also a bit of damage to a few boats in that.
Yeah, they lost probably
That heat.
4 boats. I don't know
Yeah.
how bad Raymond Hart's was, but
I
I've never
don't
seen
I
that,
don't
but the
think
canards are blown off
they lost
them.
too many, like that couldn't run again.
Just the 2.
But yeah, they had the Gulf oil boat all taped up. It was going to run again. It was ready to go. But
The 2. How's that? And
yeah, Scotty Coker and
Jason Haggerty,
yeah, their
Lady
boats.
Liz.
Yeah,
blew
their
the
boats
canards off 'em.
suffered a bit of damage that probably couldn't be fixed. They probably could drive without the canards if they wanted to. Probably wouldn't be
drive from the
competitive.
throttle,
but-
you're going nowhere.
Yeah, so one of the other classes that we got into was the modified hydroplanes. I believe they're like little 2 litre, 2.5 litre engines, things like that. They're pretty cool little boats. There's a couple of nice little late model hydroplanes that were pretty fast and entertaining. They were also stepping up to the Grand National hydroplanes as well, which yeah, they're all kind of any kind of hydroplane's cool, but yeah, we like the little ones because there's not a lot of power. When you don't have a lot of power, you've got to be able to drive the boat fast to make it fast. If you've got power, it's pretty easy to go fast. So yeah, they are entertaining. The Grand National hydroplanes, I'm not 100% sure, but there was the boat that won that for the weekend. It was called Aquanaut, and I'm pretty sure
That's
it
not
looks
the Australian Aquanaut, is it?
well. It looks very similar to Paul Cunningham's Aquanaut that he used to have. Yeah, it looked very similar. I was wondering. I meant to ask a few people, but I never got around to it. It looked exactly the same.
Hopefully
And
someone can let us know.
yeah, someone
Pretty cool.
might know that and be able to comment and let us know. What else did we get up to in New Zealand, Joel, other than going to the racetrack?
Right. Well, we also got into few little pranks that were harmless.
We are pranksters. We like our little harmless jokes to just annoy a few people.
We called into Bunnings to pick up a container so we could have some beers in it with some ice.
Oh, you got some chili buns.
And it's just a box.
Yeah,
It's just a plastic box.
We were too cheap to buy an esky, so we just bought a plastic box with an O-ring lid.
And we
Does a job for the
and
weekend.
we picked up a little padlock to lock a couple of suitcases shut so they couldn't get their clothes out. Poor old Andrew was on the brunt of that first one.
Oh, I think he was on the
Andrew.
brunt of most of them.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew Walmsley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like getting Andrew because he cops it well. He carries on good, but he cops it and he gives it back as good as he gets it too, which makes it better when you get somebody. And also, if you do prank someone, you got to expect to get it back. They're pretty simple, harmless pranks. We just locked his suitcase shut so he couldn't get any clothes out, all those type of things. He locked your bloody bag into the van.
Yeah, he locked mine into the van
to the dog cage so you couldn't get out.
Opened pulled all the bags out, and there my bag's hanging on the dog cage.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We're already running late for the airport because we're at Muddy Waters again.
Yeah, all those little things.
Well, you got his he dropped his passport at the pub.
Yeah, on
He
the way
didn't know.
home, we called into Muddy Waters again, and then I looked down on the ground as Andrew's talking shit with somebody, and there's a passport there on the ground, and I thought, here's my opportunity. I walked over there, got my wallet out, pretended to drop it on the ground, picked up my wallet and his passport, and he had no idea he's lost it. So he's driven all the way to the airport, not knowing that he's missing a passport. And then when he's dropped us off, we've gone in and checked in, he's gone to take the van back, and all of a sudden he started shitting himself because he's missing a passport.
Thinking he's going to get stuck in the Kiwi land.
Yeah.
But he had to get told pretty quick.
Yeah, because
old
we
man was
were
there.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad went with him to drop the van back off, and if they were any later, they would have missed check-in, and we wouldn't have got on the plane. So Dad had to tell him. So anyway, that one didn't go quite as well as planned, but still funny.
If he hadn't been farting around at the pub, he probably would have gone to been able to drag it on.
Yeah,
It was going to be fucking awesome. We ended up wrapping his suitcase.
Yeah.
You get those automatic
we
wrappers.
happened to accidentally lose our locks. We put them in our check-in bag, so we
Yeah.
lost them, so we couldn't muck around with them in the airport. So Joel's youngest brother, James, decided he was going to glad wrap Andrew's bag because we took Andrew's bag in while he took the car back. So
I don't know why he would have trusted you two, Pelicans.
yeah, I don't know. He's a bit silly. So James has paid $20 and put on this glad wrap machine a couple of times, so it got really, really wrapped up. The only thing that would have made that better if they wrapped up the handle and the wheels, so he had to carry it.
Yeah.
So he was still able to drag it.
Yeah, you can
still
drag
wheel it. Yeah, it was good. As he's walking down the corridor to us, he's going, "What the fuck are you doing?"
The prank started on the airplane on the way over too, before we even got the lock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We got up every time we'd get up to go to the toilet. There was a couple of Aussies a few rows up in front of us. Simon and Pete Troy and their team. They were up there, so we'd walk up the corridor, lean over the row behind them and press the
help button.
The help button, and then quickly run back to our seats. And then they're wondering why the hostie's coming up saying, "What do you need?" And the funniest part was they were blaming Pete putting his elbow on the button on the chair. So when we got off the plane, I rang Simon. I said, "Where are you?" And he waited for me. And I I said, "Oh, how come you called the stewardess so many times?" And he goes, "Oh, bloody Dad putting his elbow on the button and all the rest of it." And I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. I said, "It wasn't your dad." The pranks on the plane continued on the way home too. James and Andrew, they bloody mucked around with their water bottles. Andrew's picked up his pump water bottle to have a drink. James has grabbed the water bottle and squeezed it in his face, and water's gone everywhere. The stewardesses actually thought it was pretty funny. They weren't upset about it or anything.
I know they got it.
Like
Andrew put it on his lap and then told the stewardess he couldn't get up.
Yes, yeah. So
Go for a pee.
yeah. After James squirted in Andrew's face, Andrew squirted it all in James's groin area, and told the stewardess that he's pissed himself because he needed to go to the toilet and he wouldn't let him up. So the stewardess said, "We've got some nappies in the back." Yeah, they loved all the pranks too.
They got around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pranks are funny. As long as no one's getting hurt, it's not costing anyone any money. It's just funny.
Yeah. We also what happened over there was we got to meet a friend of ours, Scotty Patterson's young bloke. He's youngest. He's probably the coolest out of Scotty's kids, I'd reckon.
Even Scott, probably cooler than Scott has to
he
be.
can't be cooler than Scott.
Oh, I don't know.
Cooper. He's young. He was over there training for downhill mountain bikes.
Yeah, he's right into his downhill mountain bikes.
And had a fair few beers with him on the Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, it was nice meeting him. He's a very entertaining bloke. He's got some pretty good one-liners. And we were actually talking to him about what we're doing here on this podcast, and he actually came up with a suggestion that we might have to get into and have a little segment called Cooper's Quotes. But yeah, we'll see how that pans out. And yeah.
Little youngest brother James and Cooper went on a little social expedition themselves all the way to Hamilton.
They're a fair bit younger than us, and one of the pubs we were drinking at one night had a 21st birthday there. So Cooper and James have just invited themselves into this 21st birthday to make friends. They went in there and lied to all the girls, told them their names were Jack and Cam. They were professional downhill riders, sponsored by Red Bull, earning $1 million a year. They were 20 years old, so they fitted right in. Next thing we know, they're in a taxi with a taxi full of girls, and off they are to...
They were all over it.
Yeah,
off they're going to Hamilton to the nightclub.
Borrowed Cooper had to borrow your jeans.
Yeah, Cooper had no long pants, and they needed long pants to get in, so I said, go back to the room and you can borrow my jeans. Here, take me belt. You'll need that because I'm a bit fatter than you are, so you'll need me belt to hold them up. Yeah, and they went back to the room, and the girls started undressing James and changing his pants and stuff.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. And he's taken a little video of it, showing how these girls are dressing him and whatnot. And
then that was it. Didn't do nothing with it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that was it. He got dressed and went to the nightclub.
So he was a good boy in Mum and Dad's eyes.
He was respectful. Probably wasn't when he come home at 3:30 in the morning and just binged all the lights on and annoyed everyone.
Banging on some doors.
But that's all good because we do that too if we were out that late.
100%.
I say, is that the reference to what?
Yeah,
Yes,
one of the Facebook
yes.
questions.
One of our Facebook questions. That's a good segue into our Facebook questions. We did get a couple that
Dave Freeman.
we'll answer. Yeah, Dave Freeman's asked, what would you do if you had two girls undressing you in your motel room? Dave was obviously over there with us and knows the joke.
He was all over that.
Yeah. So some of the other questions, what do we got there? We got one from Ryan Nichols, Dewey Nichols. What things do you do as a driver to prepare for a race meeting physically and mentally? And what is your go-to pre-race meal night before? Well, let's break that into two parts. We'll go with the race meal first. I don't really get into much as long as I've had something nice to eat. Not too much. You don't want to be too full, but just enough to fill you up. I don't really have a specialty, as in whether it's a steak or a snitty or whatever. It's usually something from some kind of pub because we're never
Everyone
normally
goes
near
to
home. You don't
pub,
have a home cooked meal, so But what about you, Hayden? What do you get into the night before?
Seeing as though I'm a well-tuned athlete, I'm all over the steak and chips.
Yeah, you have that every night before a race.
It's not a ritual. It's just that's what I eat. At
That's
the
just
pub,
what
so
you eat. Yeah.
it's a pretty easy go to.
Yeah, I'm not
And
fussed. I love me food, so I'd bounce around and all sorts of stuff.
you got to make sure you have a good chip meal because you got to absorb a fair bit of the beers you're having at the same time because you got to make sure what's the rule 10 before 10
10
or
before
something
10,
like
you
that.
blow
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
worked
gotta
so
make
far.
sure you cover your butt on that. I do not want to be blowing
And
numbers
that's
in the morning.
10 before 10's a work thing. So that's 6 in the morning. So you're sweet for racing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So what about preparing yourself physically and mentally? What do you get up to there?
Well, I'm usually before a race meeting, like the whole event, I am always in the shed preparing the boat, so I don't actually get to mentally prepare myself. I'm usually pretty knackered when it turns to Friday morning, getting the boat to the race meeting. So I don't actually have any rituals or anything like that. I'd like to have a bit more preparation on the race boat. That's what the plan is this year. Have less things to do on the race boat and more to prepare on us as drivers, me and Breton.
Yeah.
And actually not be knackered when you turn up to the race meeting. When you're not knackered, you're actually making better decisions.
Yeah, rushing to a race meeting's not a good idea. I've done that a couple of times. It doesn't usually work out well.
It's not enjoyable.
Nah.
Like I go
We
racing
still
to
all
enjoy
do it
myself.
because we're normally you're not getting parts till the last minute and you've got to have it done and whatever else. But normally once I've set off in the car, I can start sort of winding down.
You can't do anything after that. Like
Yeah, I don't really do much
done.
physically. Like I don't get up in the morning and go for a run like some fitness freaks like Craig Bailey.
Well, Jason Cook's been stirring me up to go to the gym past couple of weeks. As much as I really want to do that, I haven't made an effort yet. So
Yeah.
I've got to start answering the phone call.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have time to do that stuff. I don't really have time to do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you get blokes like Craig.
I've got a shed full of gym gear. I couldn't be bothered using that either.
Yeah, you get some blokes though, like Craig Bailey. He's always up running around. I can remember as a kid went to a race meeting. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I remember there was a triathlon or something. There was an event around the boat races at that time, and we get up in the morning, go out to the track, and here's Craig doing this triathlon event before he's about to jump in his boat and go race it. And from then on, I thought, oh, this bloke's pretty bloody fit, and he loves his fitness. It obviously works well for him because he's done pretty well in boat racing over the years.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, when you said that, I'd always, as a kid, you make dumb thoughts, but I'd always thought, oh, Craig Bailey and his bloody Lycra gear, and oh my God, that's just a weirdo Formula One driver. And then, like, you look back as an adult, you're like, he was on it, and that's the reason why he was such a good driver.
Exactly what everyone should be doing.
Yeah.
Especially when
he's
you're spending...
actually doing what we should be doing.
Yeah.
They're spending 15 minutes, 20 minutes in a boat running around. We're
Yeah.
doing 3 laps and can't breathe.
Yeah.
I'm knackered after 3 laps, and he's still going. So, yeah, they're doing it right. I'm the one that's fat and lazy.
Yeah, I remember we went bike riding, dirt bike riding with Craig one weekend out at Louis at the motocross track out there, and he just happened to be bunked in the room. There was a heap of us that went. There's probably 10, 15 of us that went out there with all our bikes, and Craig just happened to be bunked in the same room as me and Joel and Mikey Johnson. Anyway, he's decided he's going to bed early because I told him that we snore. So he's gone to bed early so he could get some sleep in before we got in there. And anyway, I've got up early in the morning to get up, get my bike ready, and go riding. And Craig's not in his bed, and I thought, bloody hell, this prick's got up out here in the middle of this freezing cold weather and gone for a run. I walked around outside for a little bit, and here he is asleep in his van.
Got sick of your snoring.
He got sick of our snoring.
Mikey was sick of it too, but he just...
Yeah, he put up
out.
with it. Yeah, he put up with it.
Yeah. Oh, there's another question.
Tony Hearn,
Yeah.
turbo or supercharged? Well,
I like my boat to sound cool, so I want to go supercharged.
what do you think about turbos?
Well, they sound nowhere near as cool as a supercharger screaming down the straight.
Fuck,
That's
they're
why
fast though, buddy.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Look at my boat. My boat's not fast, but it sounds the coolest.
Yeah, yours does have a good whine to it.
Yeah.
It's nice to sound cool and go fast though.
Yeah, well, let's see what this new engine does.
Well, I'm a bit of a turboed fan. I just think they're a bit more sensible. You can do a fair bit more with them.
More controllable power.
Yeah, with all the electronics,
tune into it.
you can make
Yeah,
it a
I'll
bit more
agree,
user friendly.
A turbo engine probably is faster, but it just, yeah, I don't know. Probably because I'd always grown up with blowers as well.
Yeah,
That's where my head's at.
we had a little turbo engine little while ago. I think it got built in around 2004, 5, something like that, and it competed quite well before the cell rules come in. It won a fair few trophies, won Marge Watson and all that sort of stuff,
Really
and then
wicked boat.
yeah, and then once the cell rule come in, we couldn't sort of use the boat anymore, so the boat got sold, and the engine sort of just got pulled out and sat in the corner and just left there really. And then I was still pretty sort of young at that stage. I was only racing my little 5 litre, and then all of a sudden I've stepped up a few classes and bought myself a big boat, and we just pulled that engine back out of the corner. It'd just been sitting there for long. Dad just pulled it apart and checked it all and went, yep, it's all still sweet. Put it all back together, and away we went. And it was still pretty competitive, even though the boat it was in needed a fair bit of tuning and stuff, which we didn't really get into, which I'm still working on right now. But yeah, it was pretty fast for such a bigger, heavier boat compared to what it was in before, which was pretty surprising. But
I reckon
it didn't have enough power to push my new big boat along, so we ended up having to go to a big block, and for some reason we ended up with a supercharger on it, which I'm not complaining about, but I do think turbos would be nicer. We might use the supercharged engine to get the boat set up and sorted out so the boat can actually perform something. Then we might put some turbos on it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that the turbo engine that you had, that's the one that's in Joe Junior now. Like that was a really good position for you guys to be in, where you knew pretty much the engine was going to be. It was already set up,
Yeah.
so you could concentrate on setting the boat up, and you didn't have to think about the engine. Now, that's a pretty good way of starting out.
Yeah, it was. It
Good
just wasn't quite fast enough to what it couldn't push that big boat along fast enough to compete. So that was the main reason for selling. I wanted to sort of keep it so we could see the boat improvements, but it does make a bit of sense to have as much power as you're gonna have when you get to the end point. So you're working with that all the way through. But yeah, I still like the turbos. I like what the Constable boys are doing. That's cool as.
They are pretty cool.
And they don't muck around either, eh? The effort those guys put into, they deserve everything they get, eh?
Oh, man! Anytime you speak to them, they're always fixing something,
Yeah,
improving something.
yeah, they don't muck around.
And
They did-
most of the stuff themselves.
They didn't miss a race meeting for a while, and they were going home, pulling everything apart after a hurt, putting it all back together, get
Yeah,
to the next one.
that's a
That's
big
a
effort.
massive
That
amount of effort. Yeah. No, got to congratulate them for that.
yeah,
And man, they went to most meetings last year. They were taking trophies home.
yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They won some of the biggest trophies and they haven't been doing the circuit racing for all that long. They come from ski racing, which is probably a good starting point, but haven't been doing circuit racing all that long, and they're taking home some of the biggest trophies that we have.
Some people have raced their whole life, their whole career, to try and get those trophies, and those boys have worked their ass off this year,
Yeah, exactly.
last year, and gotten it. So yeah, you've got to congratulate them for that. Like, that's a massive amount of effort.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they're going, but they've had a few engine issues.
Oh
but
yeah.
with the package they got coming now, I think it'll be fucking.
Yeah,
Don't
I've
know which
seen-
way you're going.
yeah,
I've seen some pretty
yeah.
cool stuff coming out of the shed.
yeah.
But yeah, no, the boys are mad. I love them.
What other supercharged boats do you like, Hayden? I got a couple of turbo ones I could list. Well, there's not too many turbo ones because not that many people have seen the light. So
Well,
the turbo barrel, obviously Tony Hearn's question. He wants everyone to say turbo because he loves the taxi, the red taxi, and I like it too. That's why I got some of their merch.
well, I did my apprenticeship on BA, BF, FG Falcons, and I've got a pretty good like for the Barrett engine. I've always thought they're pretty cool, but
You are a Ford man at heart too, aren't
I bleed blue.
you? You
Absolutely.
like all the Fords in the supercars and all that. So
Oh yeah, yeah. So it does line up pretty well, and the Hearn family are really cool people. as
they
well.
are. What's your favourite supercharged boat?
I'd say Clarkies.
Oh,
Tough
yeah.
enough.
That's
I
a
think-
very nice looking boat.
That's a
Very good
that's a hot
polished
rod.
bit of gear.
Absolute hot rod. Awesome family. they support a lot of people in boat racing. They support a lot of events in boat racing.
Yeah.
They support Dad's race as well. That's not why, obviously, I appreciate what the Clark family do for a Dad's race, but I just think Dave Clark's a cracking bloke. James is someone to look out for. I don't really want to praise him that much because the bastard's going to beat me. I can guarantee it. In the same sort of boat as I've got.
Yeah, he's a smart boy, James.
But yeah, no, I think Clarkies would have to be my favourite.
Yeah, if I'm picking like on looks, I could probably go back in the day when I was a bit younger to pick some. Like the Bad Attitude boats always looked
That was stunning.
100%.
Good paid jobs.
But yeah, but these days I'd have to agree with you. Clarkies is probably the neatest looking thing. Everything's nice and shiny. Everything's polished. Most people these days, their boats look nice, but it's all anodized, so you don't have to work on it. But the Dave stuff's all polished, so there's a lot of work that goes into polishing a boat all the time. I used to do that with the little 5 litre, and man, we'd spend
a full night on it before we went to race, man.
The Thursday before we'd leave, me and Joel would spend a couple of hours each in there just polishing just aluminium parts, and yeah, it's a lot of effort that goes in to make something look like that. But if I had to base something off performance-wise,
well, I'd have to say Troy.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to go past Troy. Isn't it?
Once again, another Evercraft. It's like a forward. I bleed Evercraft.
Yeah, that thing. He's like that missed a lot of races there for a fair few years while Troy was working on the business and that sort of stuff. And then it just comes out and it's still right up the pointy end.
Sits on its ass and goes forward.
Yeah, it's beautiful to watch.
Been on the sidelines concentrating on other stuff, and then to come back straight away being up in the top 5, top 3. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, you can't expect him to be smacking everyone's ass straight away, but he pretty much did. Like, he was up the front racing for the wins.
He's done it for a long time, and I guess it's a bit like riding a bike.
They're very professional.
You learn it. You get to a certain point where you can just jump back in and off you go.
There's a lot of years setting that boat up too after they put that cell in it.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see how Troy goes in this liquid asset, but...
Yeah, I heard that past couple of days, Mark Holmes has announced that the liquid asset boat's going to be driven by Troy Mullen.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to see how that goes.
So I wonder what happens to Troy's son.
Oh, he's just there, just going to 6 litre with the little 18-footer.
Yeah, but I wonder if he...
Troy and the boys were actually over
in the yellow boat.
Troy and the boys were actually over in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, helping out some guys over there, some teams over there, which is pretty cool. Cool seeing Aussies go overseas and helping other teams.
Yeah. No, Corey's really nice dude too, Corey Marlin.
Yeah, he's got a great teacher and his dad teaching him how to drive the boat too, so it won't be long and he'll be one of the blokes that you're gonna have to try and beat. Yep.
Oh yeah, I got some people to race against, but hey man, as long as I'm having fun, like I'm gonna be trying to race to win, but you've got to realise where you're at, where your budget's at.
Yep.
And man, I'm having fun going out there and racing.
Got to not lose the key fact of having fun.
Yeah. If you're not having fun, I think you're wasting your time.
Yeah. All right. We got anything else we want to talk about, or is that it? We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's about it, I reckon.
All right. Well, thanks for listening again. Hopefully we haven't bored you and you're still here listening to it all. If you want to do ask any more questions, get on the YouTube, the Facebook page, comment and all that sort of stuff. Your questions, or do a voice recording and send it through. If you send a voice recording through, the question we could probably just play it straight through the speakers instead of actually reading out your questions. So it might be a little bit easier. But yeah, we'll leave that up to you guys. However you want to come through. Also, do the download, like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Press all the buttons on your Facebooks, your Instagrams, and your Spotifys and Apple Musics.
Yeah, the more you share, the more people are going to actually see our shows, and the more people that see our shows, the more interest we're going to get, and the more push we're going to have to
more interest we can generate in powerboat racing.
Yeah, some more content we can get as well.
Yeah, like actually press the buttons. Don't just listen. Press the buttons. It all helps.
The like, the follow, the share.
Yep.
All of that.
Alrighty.
Righto.
That's
Catch you later.
Thanks, boys. See you later.